Hello, everyone. This is JJ. I hope that you guys are having a beautiful Monday or just a beautiful day whenever you are watching this video. Today's message is going to be all about your inner teenager, if you will. Usually, we're doing work around our inner child, but this time around, I'm being called to get a message from your teenager. I feel like a lot of us are going through that. You might have been noticing that a lot of memories, probably from your teenage years, from 13 all the way till I want to say 20 years old. So those are the ages that I feel like we're going to be tapping into. This can be very triggering as well, you guys. So if that happens, again, feel free to pause the video, come back to it whenever you feel a little bit more grounded, or ready to kind of listen to the rest of the video. That disclaimer is always out there. Like always, these are general readings, so take what resonates and leave the rest behind. Something doesn't fit, do not force it to fit. Like always, all the information is in the description box below. I also want to say thank you so much for all the love and support for my retreat. You guys, we have one more spot left, and this is amazing. I don't even have words. I'm just really, really happy. So those of you who have joined, I can't wait to connect with you all during this summertime. So with that being said, we have pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. So I do want to touch a little bit about the energy that I'm getting around this teenager energy. Okay, so for a lot of you, I feel like it's because you're ready to let something go. Like I'm literally being shown releasing something. So I do feel like for a lot of you, whatever it is coming up in your life currently right now in regards to something that might have happened from when you were from the ages of 13 all the way to 2021, I feel like you're ready to let that go. You're ready to release it. I keep being shown also a village. So a village. So this tells me again, hometown, right? Family, the tribe. I feel like this is it's a dualistic energy, if you will, because yes, the village, the hometown, it's a beautiful place, right? Because if it's home, it's home to many of us. This is where you can always return to. There's always nostalgia that is attached to our hometown, our village, our tribe, where we grew up. And again, we know we can always return there. And so it's comfortable. But then there's also this other energy of this is the place where you need to leave to grow too. So for a lot of you, this is where you're at. You're like in this place of like, this is comfortable. This is what I'm used to. This is what I'm like familiar with. But then at the same time, it's like, but you need to go elsewhere. And usually in order for us to grow and evolve as a soul or even as a human, we have to leave home or the hometown, right? And so for a lot of you, this is kind of the conundrum that you're in, if you will, here. And so I feel like with this energy, the other thing that comes up is like you have to leave, right? I'm hearing the song Breakaway from Kelly Clarkson. So it's like at the same time you have those who are your tribe supporting you and rooting you on and being like, yes, you can do it. I'm so proud of you. Go after the things that you want, or do that thing, or be independent. And then at the same time there is those whisperings of the community, your tribe as well, that are kind of like they want you to stay within the parameters. Okay? And so this is kind of where we are at here energetically that I'm picking up. And so your guides are saying you're ready. Okay, the world awaits beautiful things. There's like beautiful things for you to explore, to do. But I do feel like there's a sense of fear here. And so this is what the message of your inner teenager will be revealing to us today, to kind of see what can you take with you and what is holding you back. So we have pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. This is pile 3. Timestamps are in the description box below. Again, a sense of independence. There might be for some of you some guilt that you need to work through, some forgiveness that you need to work through. For others of you, there's also like your intuition at that time, for whatever reason, was not blocked, but it planted a seed of doubt within you. Or it kind of like this energy of, how can I say it? It's like pursuing your pleasurable things. So whether that be, a hobby or a connection or a friendship, whatever it would seem as bad. It would seem like it would be seen as like it was indulging, and like you had other obligations. So it was like, I couldn't explore that. So there's that coming up as well. And so there is this sense of liberator needing to reveal. Okay, so maybe some of you need to tap into this energy 555, as I said, that this inner teenager where you're having to reveal that side of you. I feel like your inner teen, and Mercury retrograde is not going to help me with all my words or putting my words in a cohesive manner, but we're going to try. We're going to push through. And I feel like that's the energy here. You have to kind of push through what you are working through currently right now, because it's like you're being asked to liberate yourself. Because for many of you, there's this, it's like so hard for me to even put it in words. It's like one side of you, there's like beautiful, inspiring emperor energy within you that wants to celebrate the beauty within you. But then there's this other side of the hermit. So for some of you, it's like, as a teenager, you were put in, or you had to go in this hermit energy, and it's like you never left the hermit mode. And so your teen is like, let me out, now we can explore that side of us. Now we can, do things that before we were told not to. And so that's kind of what I'm picking up here, but I will see what comes up in every pile. Like always, these are general readings, so I will see you guys in your selected pile. Bye. Hello, pile number 1. Let's have a look and let's see what is the message from your inner teenager. Okay. We have the 3 of Wands, unconscious, the 3 of Pentacles, the mountain. Take me to the mountain that is higher than I. Mountain. You have outgrown this. This is no longer a good fit. Okay. Don't back down. Bridget. Stand up for what you believe is right. Destroyer. So the light attributes are releasing what is potentially destructive, preparing for new life, intoxicating with destructive power, destroying other streams or potential. That is the shadow attribute. And then we have these other 2 cards, which we will reveal in a second. But pile number 1. What is very interesting to me is we have this volcano here, but then we have this contained fire, and then this contained fire here. I feel for many of you, when you were a teenager or in your teen years, particularly, you might be 33 years old. You might be life path 33. You might be life path number 3. Your birthday might be in March. This might have been something that happened at the age of 13. I think I said that. So if I repeated it, I'm sorry. It's Mercury retrograde. Okay, let's see here. I feel here there's this kind of like vision that you have of your own fire energy. But before I get into that, I do want to kind of touch on what is fire energy. So fire energy, of course, it does represent the signs Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. That might be your sign. You might have like a stellium in these signs, or that might be your sun, moon, or rising. But regardless, it is passion, it is excitement. Yes, it is anger, it is passion, pleasure. It is also creativity, excitement, right? So, and there's much more, but for this reading right now, I feel like when you were young, you might have heavy Pluto Mars placements. That means Pluto in the 1st house, in the 4th, in the 10th, or in the 7th. Mars in those same angular houses. You might be a Scorpio rising, or you might be an Aries rising. And so I feel like when you were a teenager, you saw your anger, or the way kind of like how it was made to be seen for you, or the way people would tell you, is that your Mars energy, your fire energy was destructive. You might have heard the phrase, everything that you touch just like dissolves or gets destroyed, or because of your anger or your outburst or your word, is like once this volcano explodes, is like it destroys everything that is around it, kind of energy. Okay, so for some of you, again, like I said, this might be triggering messages, but I feel like for some of you, you've learned to contain this fire. I think a mother is significant here. You might have had a Libra mother where you weren't allowed to show emotions, particularly anger. Anger or too much excitement or passion about things. Like, I'm hearing it was unheard of. Okay, that might be something very particular to someone. Yeah, I'm hearing it was unheard of. So, or every time you expressed anger, like this person took it upon themselves as like a strike towards them kind of thing. But I feel here that because you were not allowed to, and you were always shown that this kind of fire energy within you was destructive, and that it destroyed not only your dreams but other people's dreams or their projects or things like that. That's what you were told, right? You've contained your fire. You contain that excitement, that passion, that drive, that Mars energy within you. And so I feel like right now your inner teenager says you now have balance, you now have awareness. You can now use this Mars energy to release what is no longer serving you, because there is something here that you have outgrown that is no longer a good fit for you. It could be a project, it could be a job, it could be a work, it could be certain people in your life. It's like you want to go somewhere. The Three of Wands is all about, I set my ships out and I'm waiting for them to come back. I'm waiting for a return. But it's also a card about a new vision for yourself, right? And so I feel like your inner teenager is saying we can now take this passion, this fire, and we can't climb this mountain, because you're seeing something as a mountain here, and you're seeing yourself as very isolated, like this man here in this mountain. And I feel like the reason why you feel that way is because you were always told that because of your anger or your outburst, it will lead to maybe people not working with you or something like this, okay? For others of you, and it's like you have this repressed anger, and it's there, it's in your subconscious, it's asleep. And I feel like this your inner teenager wants you to tap into that, because you can now tap into it from a healthy place, a more balanced place. And that's not to say that as a teenager you didn't, but as a teenager, if we look at our teenage years, this is a time where you're learning about who you are. You're learning about what you like, what you don't like. You're learning to kind of form your identity, and you're learning to manage your emotions as well, right? This is when all the hormones are everywhere. This is where all, there's so much things going on in the world. And so these are important years of one's life. And I feel like here you weren't allowed to express anger in particular, or a hobby or a passion, because it was seen as destructive. It was seen as like not for you, right? We don't go about things like this, kind of the energies that I'm picking up here. And I feel like the inner teenager within you is saying, no, now we can, go after the things that we want. We can make things happen. We can climb that mountain. We can release what is no longer serving us. And we can do this from a place of positive destruction. There's always positive light and shadow attributes to everything, every emotion, every action, every scenario. And so I feel like you need to tap into this passion energy, and from that passion, from that Mars energy, use it constructively to make the changes that you want, because there is something here that it is making you angry, but it feels like, and it's frustrating you, and it feels like I can't express it because I was taught that if I do express it, it's a bad thing. But that's just the perception that was shown to you. And there's something here that I feel like your inner teen is like, you know what is right for you. And it's time for you to use this fire energy to move towards that direction. Yes, it might be a challenge. Yes, it might not be easy. But that's okay. You don't have to go at it alone. Let's see. Yes, look at that throat chakra. Okay, so she who changes. I was going to say she who change. She who changes, Iris. Maybe your name is Edie's. Transformation, change, and enchantment. Yeah, look at that snake energy. So again, it was seen as like a bad thing, but I feel like now you're transforming it. Now you're using this energy in a different way, or at least this is what your inner teenager wants you to know, that you can use it now differently, that you now have, oh, she's sassy. I'm hearing she has a better vocabulary to express your point across, is what your inner teenager is saying here. Maybe before, because again, as a teenager, we're learning this. And if we don't have parents who allow us or hold space for us to learn this or teach us this, then it makes it even more difficult, right? But your inner teenager is saying you're ready for the change. You're ready for the change. And don't be afraid to let this fire energy be expressed, to come out and play a little bit. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles. Yes, because it's going to lead you to a new beginning, a stable new beginning. This is something that is going to be permanent in your life. And to go after the things that you want. Stop holding yourself back. Stop holding your voice back. I feel like because before, every time you would say something, you would express something, it was seen as like an attack, or it was seen as kind of like a destructive energy. But for some of you, I feel like there's something here that it's like you're ready to either voice it out, or you're ready to just be honest with yourself about whatever this situation is. But you're ready for change. Yeah, and don't back down from the things that you want, especially if this is like a new beginning, a new opportunity, a job offer, something that you're like, I know that that's what I want and that's what I'm going for. But that is what I have for you, pile number 1. Take care of yourself. Connect with your inner teen. You can do this through meditation. You can do this through past life readings as well. You can do this through automatic writing or just pulling cards for yourself as well. Just shuffle your music and see what comes up. But that is what I have for you. Take care of yourself. Bye. Hello, pile number 2. Let's have a look. Let's see what your inner teenager wants to tell you. Oh, Damara, guiding children. You're good at helping, counseling, and healing children. Use your skills to help children now. For a lot of you, I feel like there was a lot of responsibilities put on you, whether this be because you were a teen mom. Okay. For others of you, this was because you had to take care of younger siblings, or you just had to take care of. For some of you, you were the parent of your parents. I do want to say that. I feel like you didn't really get to figure out who you were. It's kind of the energy that I'm picking up here. I feel like your inner teen is like guiding you now. Guiding you to kind of like, there's dual energy here. I feel like at the same time, it's like your inner child is guiding your teenage version of you to help the current version, future version of yourself. Trust in your cycles. Okay. What else do we have here? Priest. Light attributes. Facilitates spiritual commitment. Serves as a channel of spiritual energy. The shadow attributes. Violates the trust of your spiritual community. Seduced by your own spiritual role. Okay, so for some of you, I do feel maybe you did grow up in a traditional household. And that's going to look different for everybody. I feel like there was a strong father figure here as well. Yeah, the stone. 5 of Pentacles. For some of you, it's like maybe you had parents who had to work double jobs in order to kind of sustain, pay the bills with that Five of Pentacles energy here. And so that's why there was other responsibilities. For others of you, you had to get like a part-time job. Again, it's like you were always taking care of others is the energy that I'm getting here. That's what I'm picking up. The Star card. But you were always this Uranus child, wild child. You were... Oh, okay, hold up. Okay. Hold up, I don't want to cough. Like, there's something about... Oh, man. It's like this energy of like... See how I was saying, like, you were always this Uranus child? And, like, my throat just started... Like, I started coughing. Again, okay. It's like this wasn't even allowed to be expressed in your... Oh, I'm getting like this King of Swords energy, where it's like, this is my way or the highway. This is how things are done. There was somebody very cold. Again, I'm getting heavy father here. It doesn't have to be. It could be both parents, right? But it's kind of like you were always under their wing, or you were always under, and of course, as a teenager, as a child, of course, you are under a parent's wing here, protection. But there is something here about, it's like, for a lot of you, I feel like you were very gifted at a young age. You were. And I feel like for some reason you had to kind of like put this in this cement. Like we had to contain it within contain. Like it's like we're a circle, but then the people around you, the community, were like, no, you're a square, and then we contain that square within a triangle, within another circle. This is like deep within. It's like layers of cement on top of cement on top of cement. It's like. And it's like there's this containment or wanting to contain, and I'm going to say it again, this Uranus energy within you. You are like this, you were always someone who was very transparent, someone who maybe is and was very creative. I feel like you were someone who was very healing, and I feel like you, again, it's like you healed everybody except you. For whatever reason. And again, the star card for me always signifies children as well. Whenever I'm doing a reading, I'm like, oh, someone's going to have a baby, or you're going to have a baby. So for some of you, yes, like you took care of younger siblings, maybe of your parents, like I said, or maybe you were a young parent, a teen mom, or a teen dad like I was. And so that automatically kind of like, now it's no longer discovering you and what you like. You're no longer the priority at this point, right? It's the child. So for a lot of you, maybe that was your parents' way as well, as kind of like making sure that you were going to be okay, that things were solid in your life, wanting to implement some strong pillars in your life. But these pillars were not, again, they were not serving you, because you're Uranus, and Uranus energy is not going to be put in some pillar or some type of contained box or some type of label. Uranus likes to be, like I said, wild, free, likes change. That's why it represents Aquarius. But see, that's something that the journey of Aquarius, right, is like it's ruled also by Saturn. So it has a co-rulership there, and Saturn likes structures, but Uranus doesn't. And so it's kind of learning to even navigate that. And I feel like your inner teen is like, both sides. And you need to be okay with balancing those two sides out. Knowing when to be... This is going to sound like such a bad analogy. But learning when like to be a circle, when to be a square, when to be a triangle. I feel like you're always changing. That's kind of the thing. And you need to believe in that you can adjust and you can adapt to the changes. That is that Uranus. And like you don't fit in a mold. You don't fit in like a group of people. You were always different. You can see this since your teenage years. For some of you, it wasn't having children at a young age. For some of you, it's just, your visions. the way you communicated something. Maybe you were very artistic, or you had very futuristic thoughts about, your future. And so, because, sometimes when we have these futuristic or, thoughts that are outside of the box, we're always told like, oh no, estás loco, estás loca, or, kind of think about Thunder from Imagine Dragons. You guys should listen to that song. I feel like pile number 2, that's your song right there. Answers within. Yes, it's like, I feel for many of you, because like I said, you were under a wing of someone here who was very cold, very, maybe even unemotionally, like emotionally unavailable. It's like, see, there's colors here, but at the same time, they're covered by like all this cement here. But you were under someone's wing, and I feel like you always went to this person for guidance. But I feel like you always knew certain things. Like you always had this strong connection, and that's Uranus. Uranus to me is, and I believe I mentioned it in other readings, Uranus to me is the embodiment of claircognizance, is the ability to know, the ability to channel divine information and not even like be aware of it. You just know things. You know things because you know them. It's just, it's that connection to the divine. And I feel for many of you, because you were put in this energy here of the stone, it's like you have forgotten that you were always connected to source. Because I feel like you were always taking care of somebody else or other things or other people. I feel like your inner teenager, your inner child. Yeah, it's like they're linked. I feel like, again, it's like your inner child is helping your inner teenager, and your inner teenager is helping your future self. It's like a whole thing going on here. And I feel that they're wanting you to I'm hearing pray more. For some of you, because of this, because of your childhood or because of your upbringing, there is a kind of like bad view maybe on religion. Just because, or there's a little bit of like detachment, if you will. They're wanting, because before I feel like your anchor here was someone else or a structure that is not for you. Your Uranus, it's not for you. And so I feel like your inner teen is like, you have to be your own anchor here. You have to be your rock. You, through your sense of claircognizance, through your sense of your inner knowing and connecting within and strengthening your intuition, that's going to be your anchor. That's going to be your rock here. Your inner teen wants you to know that you can rely on yourself now. Before you couldn't, because of, like I said, structures that were in place, but now you could. You have to also, I feel like, because before it was like, I don't know, there's this fear, or maybe you have a fear that you won't be able to anchor your wild side, but your inner teen is like, no, you will. Again, because you know where to be all these different things here. There's something about, and for some of you, it's like you're too much in this energy where you're like, okay, I cannot be committed. I cannot be, this or that. Or maybe you're too much in this energy and you're like, no, I can't be wild. I can't rebel. And it's like your inner teen is like, yes, you can be both. It's okay. Yes, because you're longing for something. And this is where you gotta learn to trust your cycles. There's something that you're wanting for your future. There's something that you've been kind of like asking and praying for. Maybe that's why prayer came through. Again, know that you can handle it. The inner teen within you is saying you can handle it. You're going to be okay. Because you have this guidance within you. It doesn't come from external validation. It doesn't come from someone else. It could, but then you have to go within and see like, okay, does this resonate with me? Is this for me? And only you have that answer. The Seven of Swords, there was this self-deception going on about who you can be, or if you can be both. And the answer is yes, you can be both. You don't need to choose one or the other. You can learn when to use one and when to use the other. The Seven of Swords here. I'm trying to... Yeah, is this energy of like you protect yourself. There's a sense of you protecting yourself. And it's like you've been hiding this other side of you here, pile number 2. And your team within you is like, we don't need to hide that anymore. We don't need to keep it secret anymore. You don't need to compromise a part of yourself to accomplish something. Yeah, like you don't need to, there's a sense of like focusing on yourself and your goals. This is my pile where like this is my pile of like you know, probably you would ditch school, or you know, you went to school dressed one way and then at school you were dressed completely something different just because, you know, you knew you had to leave a certain way from home, and then when you got to school it's like, oh, you know, you removed it and you were like wearing your, like, let's say the clothes that your parents or your guardians didn't want you to go to school in. Yeah, it's like, so it's like you've learned to hide these different versions of you, and you've learned to hide them quite well with that stone card there. I mean, I feel like at some point here you even started believing it yourself, that is a problem, and that's why your inner teen is like, no, you don't need to compromise that version of you anymore. You don't need to hide that version of you anymore. But that is what I have for you, because I do feel like this is what is going to lead you by you not compromising this side and actually blending all these sides and working with them coherently. Then you're going to be able to accomplish that which you have been yearning for. Because now you don't need to, like, we don't have this dominating energy around you anymore. And if you did, I feel like you will now learn to handle it, or you now can handle it. Like, it will not have control over you like it once did. But that is what I have for you. Take care of yourself. Bye. Hello, pile number 3. Let's have a look. Let's see what is going on. What does your inner teen want to let you know? Golden opportunity. Important doors are opening for you right now. Walk through them. Don't deny the needs of your body. Okay. Messiah. Serving humanity with humility, and the shadow attribute is exaggerated belief that you are the only means through which a cause can succeed. Okay. The comic. The Four of Pentacles. Page of Swords. Level 4 consciousness. You've emerged as an individual. You're taking control of your life, beginning to achieve self-mastery. 4-4. Father figure, Emperor energy. She who sees, observe, perceive, and scrutinize. And then we have 5 of Cups. Okay. There's a sense of hiding. For some of you, you might like that scary movie. I forgot her name. The one that comes out of the TV. I don't know her name. I don't know her name. Oh my God. Samara? No, Samantha? No, wait. Oh my God. what is it called? Where the girl's coming out of the TV and there's water. I don't know. Maybe you watched that movie recently, whatever that one's called. But your inner. You know what I'm getting here? I'm picturing someone who was always like a class clown. Okay, someone who I don't know why I'm hearing. So you think this is funny? Like I'm hearing a parent say that. You think this is funny to you? Todo para ti es un chiste. Like, I don't know if you had a parent like that or I don't know. It's like your how can I put this? There was a lot of judgment, I feel like, whenever you expressed joy or emotion too, because the comic here talks about someone who hides behind a mask, right? Who hides their emotions behind a mask because they feel like other people will not be able to handle their emotions. And so this is giving me Sagittarius energy, even though I have a lot of Sag in my Vedic. My kid has a Sag moon in Sag. A lot of my friends are Sagittarius, so I know sometimes Sagittarius, not everyone, okay? So I'm not passing judgment, but I have seen this pattern of like a lot of Sagittariuses can reveal pieces of the truth, especially when they're painful, through a joke. Like people think it's a joke, but there's actually a little bit of truth behind it. ¿Cómo dicen en español? Entre broma y broma, la verdad se asoma. So there's like a little bit about that right here. But yes, I'm getting this like the Joker, the clown, or someone who again has been through a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. And I feel like you tend to do this for other people. I feel like you tend to kind of be the one that's always uplifting, let's say your community, your friends, maybe even family members, because we are talking about teenage years. And so I feel like you use this as a mask to cope with the Five of Cups energy in your life. Especially when things didn't go your way. It's like you use humor as like a coping mechanism, which is great, but we also got to deal with the root of the problem when in this situation it would be a sense of maybe sorrow, disappointment, right? Is that energy. Like don't cover it up with humor is what I'm getting here. But I'm getting this energy of, I don't know, like I keep hearing that parent. Oh, man. You're really, really smart, pile number 3. You are. Like, you have this, like, genius strike to you, or, like, streak to you. That's the word, streak to you. And I feel like you did this to be able to get, like, a third-person perspective on things. It gave you, in a way, like, a sense of ego's view, if you will. Like you were, by using this humor, it's like you detach from the situation, the drama, the person, the problem, the pain, the wound, and through this lens, it's like you were able to see a higher perspective and be able to analyze things. But I feel like you were made fun of, or you were made to feel like this was a bad thing. And I feel like a lot of you do. You use this to kind of not get swept up in drama. It's your coping mechanism when it comes to your stress, to serious problems. I feel like you were always like a performer too, right? This is giving me like a performer energy. This is also giving me this energy of, I don't know if you use a lot of puns in the way you speak, in your communication, when you're trying to make a point, something like this. And I don't know if you hid this side of you, like you kept it, like you were like, okay, I'm not doing that anymore, because every time I did, it was seen as really bad. But I feel like your inner teen is like, no, let this you emerge. Because I feel like you've been trying to control this. And for others of you, I feel like you probably have too much of it, that you're not allowing yourself to go into the Five of Cups energy. And you're not allowing yourself to feel your emotions. And you probably held on to this mask, if you will, or this behavior, or this coping mechanism. But your inner teen is saying, no, now we can use this in our favor. You know, we're not going to get lost in the Five of Cups. Because I feel like you have this balance here, if that makes sense. Because I feel like there was a sense of being scrutinized or something like this from a parent or a guardian. And I feel like you used humor. Or maybe they used humor to kind of pick at you too. That's something else that's coming through here. You know, of like, oh, look at this. And then like everybody starts laughing. And then when you get mad or when you call them out, they'll be like, well, I was just playing. But were you though? I don't know. That kind of energy. Kind of the phrase of like, why are you getting butthurt though? You know? I don't know, like someone invalidated your emotions here is what I'm picking up. And I'm getting frustrated as I'm like channeling this message. Sorry, you guys. I feel like that might have been you. Probably you were very frustrated at the time you were going through this. Okay. I feel here as well. Also, you might have been surrounded by a lot of like catty energy. But I feel like because you've learned to handle or deal with people like this or situations like this, don't allow this to hold you back from the opportunities that are opening up for you. Because I feel like your inner teen is saying, look, there's important doors, there's important portals that are going to open up for you soon if they haven't already. So again, and the dolphins kind of remind me of the same energy of the comic playful energy, right? I feel like for a lot of you, your teen is like, walk through them. Walk through them. You're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. I feel like for some of you, your calling is to serve humanity in some way. And I feel like you're going to be able to do this from a place of humility. I feel like for a lot of you, you might have dealt with a lot of people who are like, no, this is the only way of doing things. Because this is a shadow attribute of the Messiah, right? It is exaggerated belief that you are the only means through which a cause can succeed. So for some of you, I feel like you've dealt with energies like this of people around you, maybe through your work too, that they were like, no, this is the right way of doing this, and that is the wrong way, and you shouldn't do that kind of thing for some of you. And it can be in whatever field it is that you're in, whatever work or job that it is that you're in. This could also have been, again, like I said, your guardians or people around you who are always telling you like, no, you know what, this is not the way we do it, this is the way we do it, this is the way it's supposed to be done, kind of thing. But I feel like because you have this sense of awareness, and I feel like you're someone who is very flexible, you're someone who is, again, Jupiter, I'm picking up a lot of Sagittarius, very expansive mind here. You're able to learn from everybody, and you've learned about yourself through this experience. Okay, I feel like, you know, look at this. The cat here is wearing a mask, right? Yeah. Or a person is wearing the mask of a cat. I'm not sure. And then we have this person here who has removed the mask. So I feel like you can deal with these both energies. People who wear the mask and people who don't have it. But this can be you too. I feel like you can navigate these two versions of yourself. For some of you, you're meant to be seen, okay? Maybe that kind of scares you. You're like, I don't want to be the laughing stock of people. But I feel like your guides are saying you have this like sage magician energy to you. And I feel like you need to speak up. You need to share your wisdom with others. For some of you, maybe you want to be comedians. I don't know. And if that's the case, your teenage self is like, use what you went through as like part of your comedy, or part of your your performance in some way, okay? But that is what I have for you guys. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe. It was an honor to read for you guys. And remember that you're very powerful. Don't hold yourself back because you've done a lot of growth. And I feel like there's a new you emerging as well. And your inner teen is like, go for it. Do it. You're going to be okay. But that is what I have for you. Bye.